of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. Amid soaring gas prices, lawmakers will head into emergency session tomorrow to discuss several bills that address the issue. And during a Public Utilities Commission meeting tonight, a fuel surcharge proposal that will hike up power bills will be discussed. Plus, 20 nations descend upon the CNMI for the 11th Pacific Games. Our Tomas Maglonia is in Saipan for the big event. These stories and so much more right now on your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
Hafide and good evening, everyone. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. Guahusi Isaiah again, and thank you for joining us. Senators have been called into emergency session tomorrow to take up several bills that address soaring fuel costs. Just yesterday, prices at the pump jumped to $6.50 a gallon. With more on tonight's top story, here's KUAM's Nestor Lecanto.
Citing the continued economic impact of the COVID pandemic, Speaker Therese Terlahi is convening the emergency session at 9 a.m. This follows a June 6 petition by Senator Jim Moylan asking that they deliberate on 4 bills meant to lower gas prices. There are 2 measures in particular that have been drawing the most attention. One is by Speaker Terlahi herself to eliminate the liquid fuels tax and save 23 cents a gallon. The other is by Appropriations Chair Senator Joe San Agustin, which would also lift the fuels tax, but only temporarily. Terlahi has complained that her bill has been stuck in San Agustin's committee despite her urging to report it out.
That's the importance of the reports. It's like, then we're not acting blindly. We're not acting in a vacuum. We're acting with the actual testimony in front of us, any of the facts that are relevant in front of us, fiscal notes in front of us, all of that is in front of us. And so we're held accountable to that knowledge.
But San Agustin said there were concerns from committee members over the lasting impacts of Terlahi's proposed permanent repeal of the tax.
And then she wants to talk about, well, why don't we just use excess funds of 2022, if I'm correct? And then at the same time, she doesn't put an amount. So when you don't have an amount, then the question is, how much are you looking at? See, there's the difference between her bill and the bill I authored, I have co-sponsored. She doesn't have any. And then the next one is that, she doesn't identify what the impact is going to be to the different agencies that are involved.
And while both measures will be on the emergency session agenda, Governor Leon Guerrero has weighed in with a letter to the Speaker today, reminding her that just yesterday she made it known that she'd planned to call a special session for Friday, specifically to consider San Agustin's Bill 295. She's now asking that it be given top priority during the emergency session as a bipartisan measure that has the administration's full support. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The Speaker has since responded, saying the administration had the opportunity to act in good faith on gas prices when she introduced her bill 4 months ago, but instead argued against it, saying government agencies would be negatively impacted. Surging fuel costs will also be in focus at the Public Utilities Commission meeting tonight as it weighs a proposal by GPA to raise the fuel surcharge. During a May 24th CCU meeting, GPA sought to phase in the increase starting in July for an average monthly bill of 1,000 kilowatts. It would go up from $307 to $338. On September 1st, it will rise to about $368. And by November, it is going to hit at least $393. Here's CCU Chairman Joey Duenas.
But we are not the deciding factor in this one. It's theirs. We simply provide them the evidence. Okay?
And make a recommendation.
Yes, and we make a recommendation. Nobody around this table wants to increase anybody's power bill. Nobody. I don't want to increase anybody's power bill. But at the end of the day, to keep the power running, you need to pay for the oil.
The PUC meets tonight at 6:30. Again, it has final approval of the proposed increase. It can accept, reject, or amend it. Governor Leon Guerrero has signed 5 new laws. 3 of them sponsored by Senator Mary Camacho Torres dealing with the rights of sexual assault victims. One requires telcos to release a victim from a family plan and provide an immediate alternative means of wireless communication free of threat from an abuser or stalker. Another makes clear that voluntary alcohol impairment does not constitute consent to sexually abuse or assault a victim. Finally, the third codifies the Survivor's Bill of Rights and requires that, among other things, the list be posted in public places such as hospitals and schools. The governor also signed Senator Sabina Perez's bill to strengthen procurement rules for small purchases and Senator Joe San Augustine's measure to authorizing an exemption for a long-term land lease in PD for a new GPA backup generator. Almost $705,000 in meth was seized from December 2021 to February 2022, according to several court documents unsealed in the District Court of Guam on Wednesday. A total of 4,697 grams of methamphetamine was intercepted by the feds in total of 8 parcels mailed from Portland, Las Vegas, and various areas in California to include Corona, Fontana, and Rancho Cucamonga. The packages were mailed to residents and postal boxes on island. The biggest quantity, 2,270 grams, mailed to a home in Mongmong. As KUAM News reported, search warrants which were executed between 2019 and 2021 and until back in May uncovered over 50 pounds of methamphetamine. Resident agent in charge Kenneth Bowman in a recent interview made a plea to the community. If they see something, say something. No charges have been filed and no arrests have been made relative to these findings. The driver involved in a fatal crash on Route 1 by the East Hagåtña Mobile last Friday has been identified by the Guam Police Department as 29-year-old Eric Franklin Pangilinan. As KUAM News reported, it was right before lunchtime when the van Pangilinan was driving crashed into a utility pole due to the nature and severity of injuries sustained in the crash. No health care services were performed on the victim, according to Guam Fire Department spokesperson Kevin Riley. The man accused of kidnapping a girl off Adetito Street and sexually assaulting her won't be going home anytime soon. In Superior Court, 41-year-old Jesse James appeared before Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan requesting for electronic monitoring. After considering the charges and other factors, the court denied the request. As KUAM News reported, James is accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl who was on her way home from Papa's store in Adetito in November of 2019. The charges against him include attempted first-degree criminal sexual conduct, first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct, strangulation, terrorizing, and kidnapping. Nicholas Wayne Moore was a no-show to his own jury selection in Superior Court, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Moore is being charged with aggravated assault, terrorizing, and possession of an unregistered firearm in connection to a drive-by shooting that occurred in Agana Heights on October 15th in 2020. And this is not his first run-in with the law. Moore faces murder charges in a separate case involving Michael Castro, who was reported missing around the same time as the drive-by shooting. To add on to that, he's also accused of third-degree criminal sexual conduct for allegedly engaging in sexual penetration with a minor between December 2016 and January of 2017. Still to come on your news, Leader Public Health's weekly media briefing provides more insight in the sudden rise in COVID cases and COVID-related fatalities, and the one day away from the 2022 Pacific Mini Games. These stories and so much more coming up next on KUAM News Primetime.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
I wanna live and feel like chase my dreams in the sky, oh, in my pursuit of happiness. Oh.
Pop it like it's hot, pop it like it's hot, pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot, pop it like it's hot, pop it like it's hot.
Pop my classic and spicy 50-50 popcorn chicken combo, only at Jack in the Box.
rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds at the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Subscribe to our KUAM News Digest, our weekly email newsletter with all kinds of information straight to your inbox. Just subscribe and we'll make sure to keep you informed and entertained with news from the KUAM News team, what to watch on NBC and CBS, and the latest promotions from KUAM Communications. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab at the top of the homepage, register, and you're all set. Brought to you by Uno Go, Guam on Demand.
Welcome back to your news leader. Concerns continues as public health officials continue to monitor the island's recent spike in COVID-19 cases. KUAM's Daniel Perez reports.
It's a step in the wrong direction. The steady rise in COVID cases pushed Guam into the medium risk category last week, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Community Risk Metric. Just yesterday, the Joint Information Center reported 147 COVID-19 cases. 3 deaths were also reported this week, 2 on Monday and 1 on Tuesday. Public Health's territorial epidemiologist, Dr. Ann Pobutsky, believes the rise in cases are due to COVID mitigations no longer being practiced.
We do think it's because the mask mandate was lifted. And as somebody already pointed out, the stores, post office, whatever, people aren't social distancing. Some people aren't wearing masks at all. If you're asymptomatic, you can be spreading it. Still out there.
Public Health urges island residents to wear masks and social distance in highly crowded areas to curb the spread of the virus. Although the island is not seeing hospitalizations above the 10% mark of total inpatient beds occupied by COVID-19 patients, residents should remain vigilant.
It might be that we are in a phase where the virus is more transmissible, but we're not seeing a crisis mode at the hospitals or increase in deaths. So it might be we just have to live with this.
According to the latest COVID trends, the hospitalization count has gone down slightly, and the ICU rate has remained fairly steady with no significant increase in ICU cases. The 7-day rolling average positivity rate of cases is now 18%, and the 2 age groups driving the recent increase in cases remain to be the 18 to 39 and 40 to 59-year-olds. Public Health also released the top 10 causes of death for 2021, with COVID-19 coming in third for causes of death. The second most cause of death on Guam was malignant neoplasms, also known as cancerous tumors, and the leading cause of death on island was attributed to diseases of the heart. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
The Emergency Rental Assistance Program continues to provide aid to island residents who need it. But just how many have applied for it, and do some find stable housing after? KUAM's Daniel Perez has this report as well.
The Emergency Rental Assistance Program continues to provide a temporary haven for residents who have experienced financial hardships due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So far, it's kept 4,000 households housed and with their lights on, but now there's a challenge to keep the displaced off the streets. This week, the program was temporarily paused to process applications already received. The Department of Administration's ERA Program Manager, Vicky Lindlau, gave a status update during last week's Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention meeting.
We have received to date 6,878 applications. Of them, almost 4,000 of them have been deemed eligible. And we have processed approximately 3,898 of them, and have an additional 1,000 folks that are on continuance for a total of 5,540 applications that we have processed and or transactions.
While thousands are receiving help, DOA and OHAP is struggling with what to do next, with a few displaced residents still in search of a home.
We have a total of 21 individuals still in displacement, and most of them are at Grand Plaza. We have not been successful at finding other locations besides Grand Plaza and Sure Stay.
According to OHAP Executive Director Sarah Thomas Netadog, displaced residents under the ERA program only stay in their temporary homes for 90 days, and those who have maxed that out have either found a permanent place to stay or have sadly returned to the streets.
So we're constantly checking on them to see if they're well and if they would like to explore other options. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, but we never know when that day will come where they meet or they get to their point of readiness. So we're constantly doing that.
There is no clear timeline of when the pause for the ERA program will be lifted. However, pre-eligible applicants may submit documents to the drop box at the ERA program office on the second floor of the ITC building in Tamuning. Daniel Perez reporting for KUAM News.
There are 4 AmeriCorps programs on the island recruiting people to join their teams in making a difference. Here's more.
Are you looking to make an impact in the community while making money? If so, the AmeriCorps program is right for you. AmeriCorps is a federally funded program that brings people together to tackle the nation's toughest challenges through service and volunteerism. The Serve Guam Commission oversees the AmeriCorps program on Guam and is supported by the Office of the Governor. Edward Mesa, the program director for AmeriCorps Azura para y Comunidad, listed some of the benefits of serving as a member.
It's a way to give back to the community, at the same time earn a living allowance of a monthly stipend, and also earn an educational scholarship award where they can utilize that award for school. So if they decide to go like to UOG, GCC, or even any online schooling.
AmeriCorps receive a monthly stipend of $528, and depending on the fiscal year, upon completion of a term, which is equivalent of 900 hours per year, receive an education award of over $3,000. There are currently 4 AmeriCorps program recruiting on the island, which include Guam Memorial Hospital Authority, University of Guam, Sanctuary Incorporated, and Guam Water Works Authority. GWA just established the program and hopes to onboard 20 AmeriCorps members, according to AmeriCorps GWA Program Director Tanya Mendiola.
Is we realize that there's a need in the community and there's a gap in education and awareness about environmental stewardship of our most precious resource, which is our water. So with this program, we would like to engage our members with the community as well as volunteers in providing education, training, and outreach.
The eligibility requirements to become an AmeriCorps member includes being a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, 17 years of age or older, high school diploma or its equivalents, or on track to earning one, and consent to completing a 5-part criminal check. The program director for AmeriCorps UOG Volunteer Center shared why island residents should consider applying for a program.
Regardless of what program you choose to apply to, is just the service back to the community, but it's also about the development of the individual. So the service and the service as an AmeriCorps member is about giving back to the community, yes, but it also provides a lot of training, professional development, personal development to the AmeriCorps member, so that they're better prepared for the job market or for whatever it is you want to do later on in life.
For more information, visit sgc.guam.gov.
Due to receiving a little over 1,300 applications, double the cap of 650, Adelup announced that the governor's 2022 Summer Youth Employment Program will accommodate almost all applicants. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero approved to double the amount of funding, which was at the request of the Guam Department of Youth Affairs in collaboration with the Guam State Clearinghouse and the Department of Administration, which were confident to support the expansion of the program. The GSYEP is funded by the Education Stabilization Fund and will cost $2.4 million, according to a release. Meanwhile, Guam DYA, which runs the program, is now placing and calling the selected applicants. Agency Deputy Director Michael Weekly informed KUAM News that parents may be receiving calls from private or unknown numbers. He encouraged parents to pick it up because it could be from Guam DYA.
There will be some staff here calling from private numbers, unknown numbers, and we just ask that, they please just consider that if their child applied for the summer youth, then it may be coming from DYA.
As KUAM News reported, participants will receive real-world government entry-level work experience. It will run from June 20th to July 29. For more information, visit dya.guam.gov or call 671-477-9558 or 671-735-5035 or 7. And over in the Mariana Islands, the 2022 Pacific Mini Games is less than 24 hours away. KUAM News Assistant News Director and Regional Correspondent Tomas Manglotnia is on Saipan speaking with organizers and teams who say they are striving for gold. And for some, it has come after great loss. Here's more ahead of tomorrow's opening ceremony.
There's just one day to go for the 11th Pacific Mini Games, a first for the Northern Marianas, as 20 countries arrive to compete across 9 sports, all of them hopeful for marking major victories. It's been a week of grand greetings for athletes from 20 countries competing ahead of tomorrow's Mini Games opening ceremony.
The whole community is excited. They're excited to be a part of history for the Marianas.
More than 1,800 visitors are expected in the NMI. The organizing committee is laser focused on one thing:
delivering the games.
As for the teams,
we're looking for gold.
But the public moments on the field amid fierce competition surrounded by pomp and circumstance comes with the private circumstances many of the athletes got through to get here.
It's very important to say here that we came in a hard time from the volcanic eruptions, because sometimes we thought that we can't come because of the financial things and the things happening in the country. But we did our best to bring our teams to compete at the mini games, and we came, and everything is okay now.
The stage is now set for the games to finally begin. We will continue to bring you live coverage throughout the 11th Pacific Mini Games here in the NMI. Reporting on Saipan, Tomas Manglonia for KUAM News.
Tomas Manglonia, thank you for that report. The opening ceremony is set for 5:30 Friday night. You can go to KUAM.com and click the regional tab for our full coverage of this year's competitions in the CNMI. We will have the very latest in news and sports. And before we head into the break, we're looking for your dad's photos to be included in our KUAM News Father's Day tribute. Get them in no later than midnight tonight to victorious@KUAM.com. You can also post on social media, tag us, and include My Guam Dad using the hashtag to be included. Stay tuned. Up next, KUAM's Dave Delgado with your roundup of local sports, and still to come, head of the class. Stay tuned.
My name is James Averman, and I am with the Breaking Wave Theater Company. Breaking Wave Theater Company, we were formed in about 2018. We have programs where we'll teach people if they're interested in things like scenic design or interested doing lighting design, things like that. Breaking Wave for the past 2 years has done a series called Unspoken, which is a series about mental health and substance abuse. A program like Gita's QC grants, it's been a lifesaver. Out of all the grants that we've ever gotten, this was probably the smoothest and easiest grant that we've ever applied for. I would encourage every organization out there to try to get the funding. Every little bit helps, so go for it.
This program provides up to $25,000 to nonprofits and public entities for projects to support healthcare, public safety, economic development, higher education, and more. We encourage community partners to visit investguam.com and apply today.
Don't need to work, babe, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Unified Communications, UC, is the next step in a business phone system. Introducing Docomo Pacific UC, your business phone. Instant messaging, video, voicemail, fax, and more. All unified on one platform and delivered through the cloud. Merge your desk phone with your mobile device. Turn voice calls into video conference. UC reduces phone costs. UC boosts productivity. Work better together with Docomo Pacific UC.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together. The
Pacific Minigames opening ceremony is scheduled for this Friday at 5:30 p.m. at the Olei Sports Complex. Baseball has 5 countries hitting the diamond looking for gold. It's the program's young guns making the trip to represent the island this time around.
They're so young, but the good thing about it is they've been playing ball since they were like 11, 12. The chemistry is really good because they've been playing together for the longest time. And for us to be in the GML competing with the older group, I have confidence that these boys that we're taking to Saipan will put out a good game.
The team's youth brings speed on both sides of the ball. Base running will be important, putting players in scoring position. The team has a high on-base percentage. Hitters have to get ahead of the count and take advantage of their pitches they're looking for.
We all come to work as a team. That's where we mostly build our chemistry. That's where we bond. Our strengths in defense is our pitching, honestly. Most of us players in this team can actually pitch. Maybe like 12 of us out of the 20. All of us can pitch.
Guam plays against the host country Saipan tonight at 7 p.m. to kick off the 2022 games. Fiji, Palau, and the Solomon Islands are also represented at this year's games.
I know they're going to bring it to us, so we got to bring our A game when we go to Saipan. We've been working hard the past months, preparing for this tournament. It feels good, very humbling, good experience out there. It feels good to represent my island. I'm pretty sure a lot of our Guam fans are going to be there to support us. I know the competition is going to be very good.
Catch the action with live coverage from Saipan at www.northernmarianas2022.com. In basketball news, the Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic Summer 2022 Tournament opening games kick off Saturday with 12 teams geared up to compete. In basketball news, the Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic Summer 2022 Tournament opening games kick off Saturday with 12 teams geared up to compete. Village and organized club teams are competing in the men's and co-ed recreation divisions through July 10th at the University of Guam Calvo Fieldhouse. Games are held on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, with games being played on 2 courts side by side. For game schedules, official results, and photo gallery, visit guambasketball.com.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Half a day.
Hi.
That will be $20, please.
I forgot my Mobile Smiles Driver's Rewards card.
No worries. You can now use your registered mobile number to earn points.
Can I use my mobile number to redeem rewards?
Sure. Just show us your photo ID or driver's license.
That's easy.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
And the next pick in the 2022 NBA draft is Johnny Davis. Let me tell you about Johnny Davis. This kid is special with a capital S. He's an incredible shooting guard.
The toasted cheddar chalupa is back, only at Taco Bell.
The rising cost of living is affecting all of us on Guam. Our administration has expanded a program. We want to pay for your child's daycare up to $675 a month per child. This means more money in your pocket to pay for other expenses like the cost of gas and groceries. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration is investing in Guam's future, and that starts by supporting our working families. We are all in this together, Guam.
This ad is paid for by government funds of the Office of the Governor and the Department of Public Health and Social Services.
Welcome back. We continue with our feature Head of the Class, recognizing the top students at high schools on Guam and the CNMI. Tonight we feature St. John's.
Congratulations, class of 2022, presented by the University of Guam.
My name is Maria Francesca Lapira Garcia, and I attend St. John's School in Upper Tumon, Guam. I am the valedictorian of the class of 2022. So in high school, I was very much involved in the service club, and I was president in my junior and senior year. So some things we did were like soup kitchens, volunteering to paint bus stops around the community, and other service activities such as canned food drives, clothing drives, and many other things. And I'm also very involved in the music scene at St. John's. I'm part of the orchestra, and I'm also part of the glee club. I play the flute in the orchestra, and I'm a soprano in our glee club. And with these organizations, I've competed in the Tumon Bay Music Festival and have won several prizes with my organizations. I guess I would say Miss Solace because I took IBH English with her, and English is actually not my strongest subject, but she pushed me to pretty much see my potential and what I can see through my hard work. Her class was not the easiest for sure, but I was definitely able to excel in that class through dedication and hard work. And with her class, she definitely taught me a lot about writing and reading comprehension and analysis. And I think I was able to venture out into different works, literary works I would have never encountered in my life without her guidance. I will be attending the University of California, Irvine this fall and will be taking up a major in biomedical engineering on a pre-med track. I also plan to minor either in psychology or political science. Beyond my undergraduate studies, I hope to pursue a career in making medical devices and finding other ways within the nanomolecular scale. And I also plan on taking up medical school in the future or pursuing my other graduate studies with my biomedical engineering degree. Ultimately, I want to pursue med school, particularly be an anesthesiologist in the future. However, I've also looked into pursuing the field of biomedical engineering and getting a master's, possibly a PhD in the field and going into industry, but also with some kind of academic research associated with that.
Hello, my name is Felix Gong and I attend St. John's School in Upper Tumon and I'm the salutatorian of the graduating class of 2022. I would say the most rewarding thing I've done during high school is being involved in the many bands that I have been involved in. I had the privilege of playing at Carnegie Hall and in Sydney Opera House with the Guam Territorial Band and the Tumon Bay Youth Orchestra where I played the saxophone and the bassoon. And through music, I was able to meet so many different people and it's so many different very inspiring people and a lot of my mentors as well. And I just feel like band is the most rewarding thing I could have done. Two teachers that have made the most impact in my life throughout my high school career are Mrs. Lopez and Mr. Parker. Mrs. Lopez is my 8th grade science teacher, but she is so much more than that. I was able to go to Japan in a science fair with her, and she's always been so supportive and so inspirational that I'm considering a field in the sciences. And Mr. Parker is my economics and my AP World History teacher, and he's always just been so nice and so welcoming, but also he's so passionate about teaching, and that's what really got to me during my high school career. And I'm also considering a field in economics, so. After high school, I have already committed to Yale University, where I will be attending my 4 years of undergraduate school. And I'm not sure what I want to major in yet, but I want to be able to discover and try new things at Yale. It's a very exciting time for me. As for my ultimate career goal, as I mentioned before, I'm still not sure what I want to do, but I know I do want to help people and assist those in need.
Congratulations, class of 2022, presented by
the University of Guam.
We wrap up tonight's show with your birthday shoutouts. Here's KUAM's Jason Salas.
All right, everybody, happy Thursday and happy birthday on this June 16th to Araya Lani Marie, who celebrates birthday number 18, and to our beautiful daughter, you have grown up to be a sweet and amazing young woman right before our eyes. May your future be safe, dream big, and stay strong. Love coming from Mom, Dad, and your brothers, Damien, Jonathan, and Drayden, and all of your families. Happy birthday. Tony Tayano, happy blessed birthday number 28, Tony. We're so proud of the man you have grown up to be. Much love coming from Mom, Dad, Kristen, Maria, Vincent, and the rest of the family. And Melton Jr. Duenas, the big 6 and 3 exclamation points. Happy birthday, Melton. Your family is very, very proud of you, and they say we love you.
And that's tonight's newscast. Guahusi Isaiah. Again, thank you for watching. Good night and be safe, Marianas.